good win by our group. I thought defensively, with them finishing with 34 points in the paint, shooting 41% from the field, we did a pretty good job. Our contests weren't great all the time, and that's they got free from the 3-point line a little bit, but overall, a solid job defensively against those guys with 22 deflections. I think we won every quarter tonight during the game. A lot of good performances from a lot of guys. HB was fantastic, 9 for 12 from the field for 24 points. Keegan was 10 for 18 for 25 points. Those guys were really, really big on the offense end of the floor for us. Domas was great. He got the 70th double-double tonight, which is, again, it's unbelievable, but it's just what he does. So a heck of a job by him. Foxy with the 12 assists. He was fantastic, and it was great to have Trey and Sasha coming off the bench too, to have the extra bodies with some size and some shooting coming from the bench too. But I tell you what, two of the things that I've harped on quite a bit are our contests, and our contests have gotten better. They weren't great tonight, but they've gotten better. And our ability to spray the basketball. And we broke the game wide open because in the second half, we had 11 sprays. We were 9 for 11 in sprays. And we could touch the paint, whether it's a guard driving the basketball, Domas catching the pocket and rolling. It's a matter of whether or not we're going to spray the ball. And we did a heck of a job spraying it, especially in the second half tonight, going 9 for 11. You can see how wide open the guys got looks from in that second half, and that's the difference in the game. We've been defending our behinds off since the All-Star break. We get to this rut sometimes where we don't spray it like we should, and when we don't, we struggle offensively. But tonight, again, that second half, that was just beautiful basketball. We went to the same play over and over again, and we touched the paint, and we sprayed it. We touched the paint, and we sprayed it. And those are the types of shots you guys get when you decide to go to the gym or to the park. You guys just stand out there and you hope somebody will rebound for you and throw you the ball. And you guys aren't going to shoot 50%, but at least you got to shoot close to 20%, which is really good for you guys. For me too. So I'm in the same boat. I'm in the same boat. I'd be shooting 20% too. So. I'm not messing with you. You're scared me all. And I said guys. I didn't say gals. I said guys. So all the dudes in here, you're the exception.
I'll take 20%, Mike. I'll take 20%. Pre-game, you talked about your stars stepping up in more ways than just scoring. 12 assists for Fox, 3 steals, 2 blocks. Sure. It's obvious the positive impact that has in a game, but what kind of message do you think that sends to the rest of the roster in the locker room, especially when guys need to step up, that Fox is making that kind of an impact in so many areas outside of just scoring the basketball?
No, 100%. They both have to, and that's what stars do. They make the game easier for everybody else in a lot of different ways, especially offensively. When you draw 2, you get off it. And if you can get to your sweet spot, you finish like you're supposed to, especially if it's one-on-one. And so I thought both those guys were fantastic playing the game of basketball tonight and contributing in other areas to help us win and making the game easier for their teammates.
Coach, you talked on it at the beginning, but Trey specifically and Sasha, what do you specifically see from them that you like tonight in their return?
The size just helps, especially on the glass. You got both those guys, whether they come up with it or not, they're battling, they're hitting bodies. It's guys that are used to taking big shots. They both are really, really good three-point shooters, and so you got to guard them outside that line, so it opens up the floor a little bit more for everybody else. And then defensively, they're going to play their behinds off. They're going to try to play the right way, and they're going to play very, very hard. And to have that added depth, especially veteran depth is big for us at this point in the season.
When you see kind of performances like tonight, and you mentioned you guys doing more and maybe going deeper in the rotations, what's the hardest thing to replace the 2 injuries that you have, but maybe more in particular with Malik Monk, the way you rely on him?
Well, we ran, we do run our offense through Domus, but usually going through Domus, we go to somebody through him, if that makes sense. And usually, it's the two guys that are injured. And so now we have guys that are cast in new roles, because we can't rely on Fox to go get 30 every night. We have to have other guys step up. Keegan has to be able to play make for himself and for his team. Davion has to be able to play make for himself and for his team. And so it just puts added responsibility on other guys, because we went to Malik and pick and roll quite a bit, and he made plays, whether it was to Thomas in the pocket or finishing at the rim or spraying the ball, because he can shoot if you go under. If you chase him, he's turning the corner and getting downhill. Same with Kevin, but Kevin was a DHO game. If you go under, he's gonna stop and shoot behind it. If not, he's gonna turn the corner, he can find the pocket or he can spray. So those two guys had a real heavy load in our offense, which allowed us to not have to go to Fox play after play after play after play to score when it comes to playing through Domus on the offense end of the floor.
With some guys out and others coming back, what's the process been like for you to figure out what you want to do rotationally and what lineups you go with?
It's been a little bit of a process, and down the stretch versus a really, really good team in Dallas, our last game, we didn't execute well, but part of it is on me, and because usually Malik's out there, and if Malik's out there and Fox is out there, they play off each other so well. If we want to do something for Fox, I put the ball in Malik's hands, and now Fox is the two guard, but Malik has been in that position many times, and so he knows how to execute whatever we're trying to get to. It was new for Keon to have to try to do that down the stretch, and some other guys being in different positions, and we fumbled a couple of offensive sets where we didn't get a great look at the rim, and so to go through that against Dallas, starting with me, it made me sit back and say, okay, I gotta reevaluate what we're trying to do. Not only that, I gotta make sure I communicate with those guys so that they have a better feel, we can get to our stuff quicker, get better looks, and so it's been challenging, but I would say that it's been great because it forces us to come up with something to help these guys out ahead of time so that we're all on the same page. And then rotationally, it's been a little bit of a challenge because, it's not necessarily fair to Kessler, but he hadn't played big minutes. So I threw him out there and he played well. You just kind of are saying, okay, hey, I believe in this guy. We weren't getting it done with this group. Let's give the next guy an opportunity. And it's kind of what happened tonight. We gave Kessler an opportunity to start. Not that he was bad, but I just felt that maybe going to Sasha in the second half would open things up for us offensively.
Coach Brown, at the beginning of the third quarter, when Utah came back and tied it up, you called a timeout. Yeah. And your players came back, they hit 3 straight threes, 2 of them by Harrison Barnes. What did that tell you about, and went on over 21-2 run, what did that tell you about how they responded to you after that timeout?
Our guys have done a great job. They're a resilient group, and even after a tough loss, they come back 90% of the time and play their behinds off and figure out a way to get a win the next time out. And it was no different during that time out. We've been a little flat in the third quarter and in our third quarters, and we even talked about it. We said, hey, our third quarters haven't been great. Let's come out, let's hit first, make sure we're getting stops and getting out and running. And I think we had a turnover or 2 to start the quarter, maybe we got a bucket, but defensively, I did not like our sense of urgency. And so that's why I took it. And I just reminded them that, hey, it's a long game, but we can't let these guys be comfortable. We have to get up in them. And so it starts on the defense end of the floor. And I said, guys, just spray the ball, spray the ball, spray the ball. I promise you, they're going like this when we drive, they're going like this when we hit the pocket. And if we spray the ball, we're going to get easy looks. And those were the 2 messages that I gave. Our guys went out, they sprayed the ball. HB got wide open looks, and we got stops defensively. and we kept doing it. That's why we won on 21-2 run or whatever it was.
Coach, when Keegan was out here a few moments ago, he talked about his 3 assists, and he talked about, I think he said it's different for him being a distributor. Of course, with him, you know, was that tongue-in-cheek with him? You can't tell, but could you speak to his potential for growth in that area and also the challenges for him as that aspect of his game expands?
Yeah, that's gonna be something new for him because last year, again, all he did was catch and shoot for us for the most part, and then tried to defend, tried to rebound, and we didn't really, talk to him much about touching the paint, spraying it or whatever. He was a space guy, and this year he's shown the ability to score from all 3 levels. And we tell him, we've been telling him, be aggressive, be aggressive, be aggressive. Now he's gotta find the fine line because he's 6'8", and he can get to his pull-up, his little leaning pull-up against almost anybody. And soon teams are gonna start sitting in his lap and rear view challenging, and he's gonna have to make a decision, kinda like Fox and Domus to a certain degree. Okay, hey, I drew 2, now I gotta get off it. And that will come in time. As a young guy, with his potential, especially with the injuries we have to Malik and Kevin, right now I just want him to be aggressive. If you get 2 on you for sure, spray it. But I'd rather him shoot the ball if he feels like he's got to a spot, than think, okay, do I pass, do I shoot, do I pass? No, don't think. If you get to your spot, you shoot it. If not, and pick your dribble up, go ahead and get off it. But our 2 guys, Fox and Domas, they've been around long enough where they gotta figure it out, they gotta make the game easier for everybody else.
Mike, Keegan also said that Malik's been around and in pretty good spirits, and he thinks the group collectively is in good spirits. Have you seen, or heard anything from anyone, Malik or anyone else within the group to kind of, I don't know, make you feel good about the team's mindset and ability to kind of weather this storm a little bit right now?
Yeah, I haven't felt or seen or heard anything different, so, we're just continuing to move forward. We've been hit with injuries before, and our attitude has been next man up, and that's what it is this time. And, to have Malik, he's one of the most charismatic guys I've been around. To have him around is awesome because he brings a smile to everybody's face and adds a bit of confidence, but he, as well as myself and everybody else, are confident in the guys that we have in that locker room. And again, you're not replacing Malik, you're not replacing Kev, but our guys still feel pretty good about where we're at and the direction we're gonna head to.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank y'all.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.